Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the semi-finals of the Sevens. Now, this is a part of Sevens 3. Whoever wins this match, they will guarantee them spots or themselves a spot in Sevens 2. It's a little bit of a confusing format, but it does make sense as we get further towards the end of the competition. South Africa are considered the favourites here up against Poland. They've been scoring tries for fun, including a massive win over Mexico, 61-0. in their first contest, also beating Czechia, who are taking part in the other semi-finals, that is up against Argentina in the very near future. But in terms of who has been a standout so far, Sharif, I knew I'd butcher her name as soon as I tried to say it, Tereshiremba has managed to score 5 tries throughout this competition for the South Africans. Of course, Nadine Ruiz, always dangerous. She has scored herself 3. Malinga's got 2. Bora's got 2. McConaughey's got 2, Lamprecht's got 2. They've been scoring every single game in emphatic fashion, the Springboks women's side. But this game just about to kick off. In fact, we did get to kick off a bit quicker than I thought, but Poland will kick this one off. They have won 2 out of their 3 games, and they have retained that ball off the kickoff to get us underway. It was Druskala with the ball in hand. Poland just having that one loss to Argentina at this stage of the competition. Now, we haven't got our automatic scoreboard like we normally have, so I will be updating it manually, so bear with me if it is a little bit behind at times. But I hope you guys are all doing well. This competition is not just for the women, it is also for the men, taking place a little bit later on. Samoa in action up against Belgium as well as Canada. They are going to be going head-to-head up against Hong Kong, but we are going to be covering both of those games on the channel. A nice step here from, it would have been Wadazka. Now back across to the right. Currently in possession here, Poland. And they know that if they have any chance of winning this game, they have to stop South Africa from getting their hands on the ball, because as soon as they get that turnover, they can be absolutely lethal. Now going back across to the left-hand side, Poland again with the possession. Still moving this one around. And they have lost probably about 30 metres on attack so far. Fortuna making the tackle. Oh, and there's the knock on. Poland just about 15 metres out from their try line. A mistake comes, and now it gives South Africa a very good attacking opportunity. Morning or afternoon for you, or sorry, it is for me. Good evening, says Please and Tees. We have got there. Do you know if you're doing all the games of Super Round or Super Rugby opening round yet, or too early? Probably too early, seeing as it is still about a month away or so for the start of Super Rugby, or a little bit less than that. Where are you watching? It is on Rugby Pass TV. Available to watch now. Nadine Ruiz breaks away, and she will score try number 4 for herself. Oh, that was an ugly clean out after she managed to score the try, but it does give South Africa the lead in this contest. Like I mentioned, whoever wins this game, they get themselves a spot through to Sevens 2. I believe it's actually whoever wins both semi-finals, and then, of course, whoever wins that final, you do still book yourself a little bit of a better seeding, I believe. But I do think it's both semi-finalists who win. They do get themselves a chance. But Nadine Ruiz, she's also been very handy off the kicking department, sitting 13 from 16 throughout this tournament. Got pure pace. She was one of the standouts for the South African side. She was quite versatile in that last Women's World Cup, playing not just 9, but also at times across that back line. Has missed that kick, but it makes the score 5-0 in favour of the South Africans. When will you know, says Kiwi Rob? Probably closer to the time. I feel like it's a bit too early to worry about it just now, seeing as, like I said, it's still about a month away. We've got games taking place this weekend and next weekend as well. But now Poland have got themselves the possession. I thought there was no promotion till next year for the Sevens 2 and Sevens 3 comp. So this competition here, pretty much the winners of it do go through to Sevens 2. But then they can't then get promoted, I don't believe, until the end of the championship. But yeah, the sides who do the best out of this tournament do get the chance to go into Sevens 2, though. That one's going to be kicked in touch by Poland. The line-out opportunity here for South Africa. Set piece has been pretty strong throughout this tournament, and I do actually think they'd do pretty decently in Sevens 2 if they were to win this whole competition, more than likely playing Argentina in the final. 2 sides that did meet in the LA Sevens just last year. Poland managing to get the line out against the steal, though, and now an attacking opportunity for the underdogs. Nice step on the outside from Zajezlek. I will mention these Polish pronunciations for myself, can be quite wrong at times, but we will do our absolute best. Now inside pass. Straightening run. Oh, off mode too. This is going to be the opportunity to score the try, and it should be Wadaska who does score it. She does. And Poland managed to get themselves a try in this contest. Now, I will mention that's the first try for Wadaska in this competition. We have got there. Happy Sunday, mate. I'll see you later for the Quins game. I've got to go to make some promises I can't keep, says Sebastian. So, yeah, we will see you later on. Hopefully the Quins do well rather than having like an up and down kind of couple weeks. But they did brilliantly last week up against the Stormers. So, yeah, hopefully they'll do all right in that one as well. As it's the same venue as Sevens 1 at the start of the Sevens year. I think it's at the... I can't remember if it's at the Sevens Stadium. It's definitely not as full as it was earlier on, but I want to say it is. I'm trying to look... Oh, the stand looks the same, but it could be maybe on the smaller field. You know how Dubai have... I think they've got two fields next to each other. This one might be on the smaller one. There's a knock-on there from Poland off the kickoff. They weren't able to get the kick over, so it does keep the score sitting at 5-5 between these two sides. It's anyone's game for the taking. Like I mentioned, Poland, they won 2 out of their 3 group stage fixtures. South Africa, they are undefeated at this stage of the competition. Just dropped in to say g'day, mate. A happy New Year from Brisbane. Win or lose, Blues till the end. CAS foot patrol. Yeah, we have to wait and see how the Blues go for this season. Nice step on the inside from South African winger. Fortune was joining into the breakdown, and there's going to be the penalty awarded to South Africa. Nadine Ruiz taking it quickly. 90 seconds remaining in the first half. Great one-on-one tackle made by the Polish defence. Now Fortune goes back across to the left-hand side again. There's so much pace across the South African side. There's going to be the knock-on out wide, though. Does give Poland another scrum opportunity. Now, I will mention, this would be an upset and a half. If Poland were able to pull this off, it would mean that they go through to Sevens 2, and it would leave South Africa in limbo a little bit, waiting for another opportunity down the line to be able to get promoted. But I should mention that in the championship, I believe, even if you are in Tier 3, you can still qualify for those championship games, depending on where you are ranked. By the way, our Under-19 are facing USA tonight. They certainly are in the Under-19 World Cup. Going off to the left-hand side now, Poland. It's a nice back line and good hands on the outside to be able to hang on to it, but they are still inside of their own 22. Nadine Ruiz putting pressure on in the breakdown. Oh, massive fend. Managing to bump off. South African defence just not quite getting it as far forward as they'd like, though, for Zayesliek. Back across to the right. Just need to find that one gap. Nice pass on the outside. Bit of a foot race on the cards here for the try scorer, Waraska. Fortune trying to get in the breakdown. Can't get that turnover. Currently still 5-5. This game is a lot closer than I think a lot of people would have been anticipating. But there's still time for the scoreline to change. Nice steal in the breakdown from South Africa. That is very well done and opens up space now. Trying to cut straight through, and she does. Breaking through the 2 defenders, and it is going to be the dangerous try scorer into Shiremba. She's managed to already score herself 6 tries in this competition. And that one could be the most crucial. Are you excited for the Six Nations? I am. It's coming very close in terms of when that one is going to be starting up. But there's a lot of sides that can theoretically win that competition. So, yeah, thoroughly looking forward to it. But great steal in the breakdown initially there. I believe it was Platjes who managed to get that steal and then just showing off that pace for Shiremba. Manages to score it. Your dedicated man, says Johnny MC. Well, I was quite intrigued because initially, I thought that whoever won this competition, it didn't actually get them any further towards that championship or the Tier 1 competition. But, yeah, with the fact that there is promotion on the line here, and I was going to be awake anyway, I thought, why not cover some of these games on the channel? We're hoping to cover the women's final, taking place at, I believe it will be about 1 a.m. New Zealand time. Following that, we've got 2 games of the Champions Cup. But also, we've got the men's semi-finals coming just around the corner. Samoa versus Belgium, as well as the contest between will be Canada and Hong Kong. So plenty still coming up in the near future. Remember that Trees from Plants vs. Zombies battle for Neighbourville, says Brandon there. Remember the trees. What trees are we talking, Brandon? But 12 points to 7 at the moment. 7 points difference. 12 points to 5. At the moment, the way that it sits, the 2 tries for South Africa, 1 for Nadine Ruiz, 1 for Shiremba, and then on the Polish side, we've seen Waraska has managed to score the lone try for Poland here. Now, in the game that they did lose, they did end up losing Poland 22 points to 5. And And the common scoreline is, across the 6 matches that these two sides have played in, the losing side has scored 5 points 5 out of 6 times, which does mean theoretically and mathematically, if we're basing it off what we've seen so far, that would mean that South Africa should win this game and Poland should only score that 1 try. But I don't know if that's the case. They actually look quite dangerous when they were able to break that line earlier on. But the trickiest part at the moment has been territory. Poland unable to get out of their own 22, and it has really hurt them throughout the game. One more weekend till Sevens kicks off again for 2026. So here's Kiwi Rob. And yeah, the Singapore Sevens, the schedule has all been announced. I saw that South Africa and Fiji, they're going to be playing their last group stage fixture up against each other, so that will be a huge one. I'm picking Samoa versus Canada men's final. I am too. And then women's side of things, I was picking South Africa, Argentina. Although Czechia have done decently for themselves, I think that the big surprise of this whole competition, though, has been Madagascar. The way that they've played throughout the comp has been really impressive. They were able to beat Colombia in their 5th place semi-final, passed on the outside. This is another opportunity for South Africa to score, and it is Sharemba who scores once more. 7 tries in this competition. She has scored more tries by herself than some teams have scored as a whole team throughout this competition, but now 17 points to 5. South Africa, that is the blow that you would think would all but secure them this game with the amount of time remaining, but it's just very hard to tell. Still 6 minutes left on the clock, so plenty that can still happen, but it was a loose ball picked up by Nadine Roos, and again, it just seems like Poland off that kickoff have been a little bit shaky throughout this game. South Africa have been clinical and counter-attacking. A good finish from Sharemba to get her 7th of the competition. Kick has missed though, making the score 17 points to 5. What's your opinion on the Cheeky AI video from Rassi? I haven't seen the video. Is that the one of Tony Brown saying he's not leaving? I saw that it was like a picture. I didn't see that it was a video though. That is going to be a mistake. Off kickoff here this time from South Africa, which does give Poland the opportunity for a scrum. They're going to need some big moments here throughout the last 5.5 minutes of the contest if they do want a chance of booking themselves a spot in the final and Sevens too. Yes, says Kiwi Rob. I mean, it's fair enough. He's heard all throughout the week that his coach or his assistant coach is going to be ditching him. So, like, it's classic Rassi to kind of feed into that and see what he can do in terms of a reaction. That's a loose ball again. That looked like a knock-on from Nadine Roos, but it is going to be play on. Ball in the hands of South Africa, looking to go off to the right-hand side. I made a couple changes off the bench as well, I do see. For the South Africans, the ball bouncing up. Dolph thought about grabbing it, but instead does manage to skip past her. Now still about 25 metres out from the try line. Moving back to the right, Nadine Roos. Now nice stepping there, Malinga. Thought about going on the outside. She won't need to though. She just runs around the Polish defence. And it's going to be another try for the South Africans. This should all but, in fact, I think that should be the one that secures them the spot through to the final to take on either Argentina or Czechia with just the 4 minutes now remaining in this match. Is there TMO in this comp? I believe so. We haven't really seen it had to be used too much. But I believe they're doing pretty much everything that they would do for the normal Sevens competition in this competition, which I do like. The fact that they've still got the lineups and everything on the websites. They've got the scoreboard the same. They've got the same commentary team as well. So I feel like they've tried their best to kind of replicate the bigger leagues or the bigger divisions that they've created so that people still feel like this competition is one that's worth watching. And to be fair, there's been some brilliant action all throughout it. So I'd say it's 100% like what they need to do to keep it growing, because there's been some brilliant matches. In fact, Italy, some of their games have been really close down to the wire ones, particularly their game, I think it was up against Belgium. They went a little bit back and forth, and then they also had that game up against the Canadians. I think they went down to the wire, or that might have been someone else actually. Went down to the wire with Canada. In fact, Belgium beat Canada in the early stages of the competition too. There's going to be another scrum feed, this time for Poland. 3 minutes remaining in this match. And Poland, again, they've just found themselves trapped inside of the 22. It is so difficult to get up the other end of the field when you're constantly playing from inside of your own half. And that defence of South Africa has held strong throughout this whole match. Nadine Ruas, though, has been once again one of the standouts. And you do think that if they are playing in Division 2 and she is in the side alongside Chiremba, alongside Malinga, Fortune, they should have a really decent shot. And that's a great steal. And the breakdown this time being won by Number. Quick tap taken by Nadine Ruas. Trying to put the nail in the coffin here, going off to the left-hand side. Skip pass. There's a chance now for South Africa. Ball on the inside. And it's another try now. It's going to be the lady off the bench, Makone, who manages to score it. And South Africa now well and truly securing this one. Like they've said, 7-2 is on the horizon now for the South Africans. Fantastic to see because they have shown exponential growth ever since that Women's World Cup, and also throughout the last year or so in the Sevens. They have really been improving. They've got a great squad together, taken many steps in the right direction, and soon we may even see them in Division 1. Just a great ball on the inside, and then McConaughey manages to finish it off. Now the kick has also gone over, I will mention. That is one thing that we haven't seen a huge amount of, is the shots of them actually taking the kicks for this competition, but 31 points to 5. The way that it sits down with just the 90 seconds remaining on the clock now. And off to the left-hand side. Poland inside of their 22, but manages to work it out now. They can get one big line break. I know that it won't be enough to win this game, but it would definitely be one for the confidence of Poland heading into their third-place bronze final. They will be going more than likely up against Czechia. That's going to be well claimed again by South Africa. Off the loose ball, Poland just giving it up. And they're talking about that physicality of the South Africans as well. So they look to shift this one off to the left-hand side. Another great step. Nadine Ruas almost breaking through, but will be dragged down. And for this ball to become available, and now it is. There is an advantage in favour of the South Africans too. Quick step and feet. And they'll go back now for the penalty. 30 seconds left. Quick tap taken by McCorney, or at least it would have been, but she decides we'll slow it down instead. I don't want to use up too much of their energy. The next game, that will be the final. It's taken place at 12:31 a.m. New Zealand time. Morning Stormers won. I thought they were going down, says Xander. Yeah, they did very well to pull off that victory. I saw a draw. Lions versus Perpignan ended up being level on the scoreboard. Umpupa scores the try off of the bench as well there for South Africa, just to add one more onto the tally. But yeah, we did actually see a draw between Lions and Perpignan, but sadly in that, it means that the Lions are sitting 5th in their group and will not be in the Challenge Cup playoff games. But I feel like that's kind of a good thing for them. I mentioned how I was a little bit undecided about whether or not they should fully commit to the Challenge Cup or look at the URC, and now they have the perfect reasoning to go with that URC comp. Try and finish that a little bit higher. But the kick is actually missed, I believe. But that is the first side qualified for 7-2, ladies and gentlemen. 36 points to 5, the end score. And this matchup, so now there is a match between Argentina and Czechia. The winner of that game will face South Africa in the final. But no matter what happens in that final, 7-2 is confirmed for this Blitzboks women's side. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We've got the 2 men's semi-finals taking place in the relatively near future. That first game between Samoa and Belgium will be starting at around 9:10 New Zealand time. So that is in about 25 minutes time. And then from there, we've got Canada versus Hong Kong, China in the next match. And then later on tonight, we have also got the finals and the Champions Cup. So plenty more taking place throughout the night. Be sure to stick around. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all for the next one.